tutadunisha kidogo maneno ya Injili.
The clergy sustains their opposition of the Mungatana bill on the regulation of religious organizations. Plus, 26 juvenile gang members arrested in Diani. K24 Newscut begins right now. I'm Alan Owino. Our sign language interpreter for this session is Walter Asere. Now, stakeholders are raising an alarm over the lack of inclusion of HIV and diabetes patients on the Social Health Insurance Fund, leaving patients to depend on donors who are already withdrawing their support. This comes with a need to invest in advancing adolescents' sexual and reproductive health, especially among the youth, so as to eradicate the triple threats of HIV, adolescent pregnancy, and gender-based violence. This comes even as the move to end mother-to-child HIV infections continues before 2027.
This will mean that as a country we are going to miss out supporting very critical people. More than 1.3 people living with HIV in this country, and about 100 to 120 people who get TB every year. Family planning, if it's excluded from SHA, that means many more. And it will mean many more unplanned pregnancies, many more illegal abortions, and the consequences that follow in the society. I have no basis for what reason they said, but the reason they've indicated there is that these are donor-funded programs. I don't think as a country we can afford to say part of our services, basic services like HIV control services, TB control services, we can leave it at the discretion of donors.
So we began by saying, let's spotlight on this issue. Let's look at the data. Let's look at how the vulnerability of a girl who gets pregnant, drops out of school. If she doesn't get HIV, she then struggles to feed the baby, struggles to get the diapers. She gets HIV because then she begins to have sex for those things. So these things begin to get connected. Some are chased away by their parents. We found them on the street. You can see the cohort in Kenya of the women who inject drugs and girls who are using drugs like heroin on the streets is increasing. And most of them, when you ask their history, it starts with an adolescent pregnancy.
Of the new higher education funding model until a case filed by the Kenya Human Rights Commission is heard and determined. The ruling on Thursday, October 3rd, Justice Chacha Mwita issued conservatory orders halting the implementation of the model after KHRC and 3 other petitioners challenged it. The petitioners argued that the funding model is discriminatory and locks thousands of students out of higher education. The petition by KHRC, Elimubora Working Group, Boaz Weruku and the Students' Caucus was filed on the 13th of October 2023. The funding model has faced significant criticism from parents and students who argue that some students were inaccurately placed in the wrong bands. Now, students of Moi University in Eldoret are protesting against a month-long lack of lectures during the ongoing lecturers' strike. The lecturers have vowed to stay away from work until all their demands are met. Let's join our reporter Timothy Simo with more details. Timothy?
Well, Alan, the strike at Moi University now enters week 5. Next week will be the 6th week. This simply means that it has been over 1 month and counting since learning last happened within this institution. And behind me is a group of students. This is a frustrated lot, to say the least, Alan. Today morning they're trying to demonstrate and just urge the university management to move with speed and bring this stalemate to an end before police stopped them somewhere just within the outskirts of Eldoret City. But they're back here within the premise of their campus. This is Moi University Annex where they study. But like I said, for the last 6 or so weeks, no learning has been taking place. We are here to speak to them We want to hear what they have to say, the source of their frustrations. Rightly so, because for the last 6 weeks, like I said, there has been no learning activity within Moi University. And the reason is simple, Alan. The members of WASU, those are lecturers, the teaching staff, and the non-teaching staff at Moi University have been demonstrating. Even when the national strike was called off by, national union officials, the status quo at Moi University remained because they feel their issues are a little bit more personal with the university management as opposed to the issues that met the entire learning fraternity in the higher education sector to go on strike. Allow me to, have an interaction with some of them to tell us how they feel about this whole thing. We've been talking to your lecturers. Today we want to give you an opportunity to tell us, how life has been since your lecturers went on strike almost 5 weeks ago. You'll begin by telling us your name.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Marvin Koril. I'm the Annex Campus President and the Dean of Comrades, and I just have one message or two things to say. First of all, we are very frustrated, not with any other person but the school administration led by the Vice Chancellor. We wonder if this school has an administration. We have to keep on fighting every day. This is just the climax of our frustration. We have tried to negotiate with the school administration to try and resolve the stalemate that has been around here so that we go back to class. We have come here, this is the second month. Landlords cannot tolerate the fact that the school is on strike. We are paying rent in the houses, and that's the most frustrating thing. And are very malicious here. Because how can we be forced to pay rent for 4 months? Then there's no learning here. So going home is not an option. You are saying you are not going home. Comrades, we are not going home. Still, we are here. Today has just been the first leg of our mandamano. Tomorrow morning we will be here. We must be here. We must be seen until the ostrich pulls its neck down, and they must listen to our grievances. Yes.
Let me just have someone else also speaking to the frustrations that you continue to feel. Much of the time we've been talking to your lecturers. Do you understand the problems that have made your lecturers to boycott classes?
Our lecturers have boycotted classes because they have not been paid since July, and their retirement or pension schemes have not been remitted to the place where they are supposed to be remitted. So they decided to down their tools. Yes.
How has it been for you for the last 1 month now?
We have just been there. We are not doing anything. We are just in our houses. Yeah, so it has been a very bad situation here in school.
And they continue to talk about something. Just allow me to.
What we are saying is they are not going to suppress our voices. We have been here on peaceful demonstrations. You can see we are currently. You cannot go to town and picket peacefully. Why are they scared? Because they want to make the people of this country to become fools. And wajinga wakikuwa wengi wataendelea kuiba pesa ambazo zinaendelea kuiba. Because now if you're playing with the Ministry of Education, if people are not going to be educated, then what is the business going on in Kenya? What is going on? We are seeing a lot of shenanigans, impeachment of people, but they are not talking about education. They are not talking about the things that concern people. So what you are saying is that we are going to picket tomorrow and we will be here and our voices are going to be heard. We have just been told that now our school has been closed down. We are going to be twende nyumbani. Comrades, power! Comrades, tumelipa rent! And we are saying that our parents are struggling hard to make sure that we are going to school. And now they are playing with our parents. We are going to fight on behalf of our parents until our voices are heard. Thank you.
Alan, as we were on live interview, you had some over there. Students have actually talking about a memo that has been released by the university management temporarily closing down the institution until further notice, but no one knows exactly when this standoff will come to an end. Like I've said, it has been running for the last 6 weeks, no learning. They have talked about some of the expenses they continue to meet even as they stay around hoping that maybe a better day will come when classes will resume. This is a situation that will continue to keep observing as it unfolds, and hoping that eventually there'll be a way out to alleviate the suffering that students and even lecturers and parents who continue to meet their expenses are going through. Alan.
All right, very well. Timothy Seymour, thank you for that update. Moving on. For a second time in a row, Jubilee Party lawyer Jackson Awele has won 2 cases, firmly cementing former President Uhuru Kenyatta at the helm of the party as party leader, Jeremiah Kioni as the Secretary General, and Vice Chair David Murathe. After the courts on Monday quashed the removal of Jeremiah Kioni, David Murathe, and Treasurer Kagwe Gishohi, the High Court now says the renegade members who were appointed to state corporations cannot hold party positions. The High Court has also directed that the said individuals choose which of the 2 positions that wish to retain within 30 days of the judgment. Failure to which their appointment to the state corporations will be automatically nullified. This means that the renegade party officials led by Chairman Nelson Zuya, who now heads the NGO Coordination Board, and 6 others will have to relinquish their party positions. The clergy in Kajiado County is sustaining the onslaught against the bill by Senator Danson Mugatana over religious organizations, terming it oppressive. The clergy says the bill is designed to silence the church.
Religious leaders from Kajiado County are the latest members of the clergy to castigate the contentious Religious Organization Bill of 2024, tabled in Senate by Tana River Senator Danson Mugatana. The leaders dismissed the bill for its tough penalties, such as proposing a 5 million shilling fine or a 3-year jail term for any religious leader that shall be found running an unregistered organization, among others.
Kanisa la Mungu ina watu ambaye wanaweza wakasimama wakalete kitu kizuri, ambaye kama kuna mtu amekosea mtu mmoja, isichanganywe kanisa lote. Hatuwezi kataa kwamba pia sisi ni binadamu, kuna challenges kidogo kama ya Shakahola, lakini na kanisa inaweza kujiregulate.
The men of cloth have insisted on self-regulation.
Mugatana bill ni mojawapo ya bills ambazo zinaangalia ili kuumiza kanisa.
Uambie watumishi wa Mungu kwamba injili isihubiriwe kwa mtu yoyote, awe mtu mdogo, ama kujaribu kuconvince mtu asibadilike. Ile kabisa ni kama kusema injili isihubiriwe.
Wakati mmoja anapotoka, kuna jinsi vile ambavyo huwa tunamrudisha na kumweka katika laini ambalo inaandamana na injili ambayo tunahubiri.
Anthony Kwemoi, K24 TV.
Learning institutions are being encouraged to take up climate action programs in school curriculums to empower learners to be environmentally conscious. This came as it emerged that thousands of learners were missing school due to hunger drawn from the adverse effects of climate change. The initiative, according to environmental stakeholders, encourages learners to engage themselves in tree planting activities as a means of resorting the vegetation cover as a part of the government's agenda to plant 15 billion trees by 2030. This comes ahead of the First Lady Mazingira Awards celebrations, Flama, on the 10th of October, which seeks to award young people involved in the creative expression of climate action.
Is to us as a ministry, involving learners in designing the name, the tagline, the logo of this program through the national competition gives them the opportunity to think critically, make decisions on matters that are affecting them, thereby promoting the ownership and the decision-making capacity from the early stages. The competition also targets all learners at all levels of basic education in institutions, including those with special needs. And this is in the effort to build a more sustainable, resilient climate future that we are all aspiring for.
Our recently launched National Climate Change Action Plan 2023-2027 dedicates a whole chapter to children and young people, underscoring the importance of empowering them to actively engage in both national and local climate initiatives. The First Lady's Mazingira Awards, Flama complements this by providing a structured platform for learners to contribute to our broader national goals, such as Presidential Directive to grow 15 billion trees by 2032.
Alfred currently before the Committee on Labour and Social Welfare regarding the operation of the country. To his briefing, the committee on the state on implementation of resolution from the report on the alleged first choice recruitment agency. Let's listen to him.
Information that was leading outside the committee report. And that is how we are able to see how the layering is happening for purposes of looking for the assets. On the issue of the receipts and the bank accounts, you should understand that these receipts are enormous and they need actual analysis. You know, for you to authenticate that this receipt, for example, is from the streets or it was issued by a company, you will need to analyze that receipt. In terms of bank accounts, you will need to do a financial analysis. Financial analysis is done by tools within our office that are able to look into money laundering trends. You see, money moving in banks, you can see 300,000 shillings moved, 400,000 shillings, but you should be able to know, in terms of analyzing that money, where did it go to, and what could be the subsequent transaction of that amount. And that is the analysis that we are doing right now to be able to come up with an investigation report that can lead us to go to court to be able to preserve these assets. I would ask and urge the committee that we are given more time because, like I said, this is a money laundering scheme. And schemes are usually a bit difficult to unravel. Once we have enough time, we are able to do the financial analysis, we are able to do the analysis of whatever investigations we are doing, we should be able to profile assets. And once we profile the assets, we should be able to trace them. And I am very sure some of these assets are not hidden in Eldoret. They are thrown.
Well, we took a short break at this point. We'll be back with more updates in a short while.